Good morning, grade 6. How are you all? Hope you will be safe and sound at your home. This is your history lesson, and in this lesson, we are reading chapter 1 Civilizations of the Ancient World, Mesopotamia. Students, we are reading about the ancient civilization Mesopotamia. It was called the cradle of civilization. Sumerian, located in Mesopotamia, is the first known complex civilization, developing the first city-states in the 4th millennium BCE. It was in these cities that the earliest known form of writing, cuneiform script, was introduced. Students, in this lesson we will read more about Mesopotamia. We will read more about this civilization. So you are required to open page number 4 from your book and read this page with me. Let's start reading. Mesopotamia was ruled by different kings from its cities. Unlike the pharaohs of Egypt, whose generations ruled through the centuries. Among the famous Mesopotamian rulers are Sargon, Hammurabi, Ashurbanipal, and Nebuchadnezzar. The Mesopotamian civilization is also known for its art and architecture. Their temples had beautiful and amazingly realistic relief. Relief carving wood or stone surface to show raised features. Their temples had beautiful and amazingly realistic relief carving on the walls and doors, as you can see from the picture. Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonian ruler in the 6th century BCE, was famous for the construction of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Students, from this paragraph we come to know that Mesopotamia was ruled by different kings from its city, and the famous kings of that era were Sargon, Hammurabi, Ashurbanipal, and Nebuchadnezzar. Students, Nebuchadnezzar too was a great king of Babylonia. He was known for his military might, the splendor of his capital Babylon, and his important part in Jewish history. He is known for rebuilding much of Babylon and restoring it to its former glory. Students, it is the king who rebuilt and improved many of the temples of the gods. He also built an enormous palace that included the famous Hanging Gardens of Babylon, which were considered one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Now come to the invention of the calendar. To keep a track of time, the Sumerians invented calendars, which they divided into 12 months based on the cycle of the moon. Since a year consisting of 12 lunar months is shorter by 11 days than a solar year, the Sumerians added a leap month every 3 years in order to catch up with the sun. This interest in measuring long periods of time led them to develop knowledge of astronomy. Students, from this paragraph we learn that ancient Sumerians were the very first to invent a calendar. The process went something like that. First, the Sumerians astronomers tracked movements of the stars, planets, and the moon. Based on their observation, they invented a calendar which had 12 months and each month had around 30 days. Therefore, altogether, 12 months had 360 days. This was the first concept of years, months, and days. However, this calendar was not always completely accurate, and every 4 years or so, the Sumerians inserted an extra month to the calendar. Students, here is a picture, a mosaic relief of lines from Nebuchadnezzar's palaces in ancient Babylon. The Sumerians believed in and worshipped many gods who they believed were very powerful but were like humans. Many of these gods controlled natural forces and were also associated with astronomical bodies such as the sun, moon, and stars. When they were displeased with humans, they sent natural disasters like floods, storms, and earthquakes to punish them. Students, from this paragraph we learn about the religion of the people in Mesopotamia. People in Mesopotamia believed in many gods. The Sumerians knew they did not have control of wind, air, sun, or other elements. So they knew a higher power must control those things. Sumerians also believed that the gods lived forever and had great power. If the gods were happy with people's prayers and offerings, they might bring fortune to the city. If the gods were happy with people's prayers and offerings, they might bring fortune to the city. And if they were not happy, they might bring war, floods, or other disasters. As a result, Sumerians felt that they needed to keep the gods happy for their city to grow and prosper. Now come to page number 5. There are some lines here. Let's read these lines. Like many civilizations and kingdoms, this civilization also came to an end when other new and powerful empires like Persia took over in the 2nd century BCE. So students, by the time Babylonian culture is considered to have ended under Persian rule. By the time Alexander the Great conquered the Persian Empire in 331 BC, and most of the great cities of Mesopotamia no longer existed, and the culture had been long overtaken. So this is the end of this civilization. Students, so this is your lesson for today. I hope you have understood a lot about this civilization. You are required to read page number 4 and 5 again and understand the concepts and terms given on these pages and learn it thoroughly. Thank you for listening. Take care. Allah Hafiz.